Hare Krishna. All glories to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Chinmayi Vrajapriya Devi Dasi from Charlotte, welcoming each one of you today for this glorious session, which we are going to start from today for the whole week. So this week, the session is called Sri Rama Jayam, and we have wonderful speakers enlightening us about various pastimes of Lord Sri Ramachandra. So may I know who all have joined today's call so that we can welcome each one of you?
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada. This is Preethi Vilasini Devi Dasi from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna, Preethi Vilasini Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for all your services and eagerly waiting for your class today.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So glories to Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirtidas class.
Hare Krishna, Kirtida Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for all your services, for all your beautiful classes, and welcome today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devi Dasi from College Station, Texas. Hari Bol, waiting to hear from Preethi Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for all your wonderful services you give, and welcome today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Ram. Hare Krishna. Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita Ramya from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for all your wonderful services you render, and welcome to the call today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, Jai Vinda, Jai Shri Ram Chandra, Sita Rani ki Jai.
Sitaram ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Vrinda Gopika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call, Mataji, and thank you, Mataji, for joining every day and blessing all of us in the call.
Jai Shri Ram Lakshman Sita Rani ki Jai, Hanuman ji ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi.
Go ahead, Mataji. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Mataji. Jai Shri Ram. This is Sumi from Chennai, India. And Mataji, I'm coming after a small gap. There was some ceremonies, Shraddha type ceremonies. So for almost a week, I haven't been here. But then I come back today and I hear that it's Mataji's class today. So that's great, Mataji. So, thank you.
You're back right at the right time, Mataji. Welcome back. Welcome back, Hare Krishna, Sumi Mataji. Accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji. We too missed you. And welcome back, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Neetu Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call, Mataji, and thank you for joining every day and blessing us all. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Mitravinda Mamta Mai Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Mitravinda Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call, Mataji, and thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol Mataji.
Mataji, shall we go ahead and read Srila Prabhupada's quote?
Yes, Mataji, I will start the reading.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Once again, welcome each one of you to today's session and this week-long session of Sri Ramajayam, where glorification of Lord Ramachandra is going to happen by various elevated speakers. And today we are very fortunate to have our own very dear Her Grace Preethi Vilasini Mataji. She is the expert on Ramayana in Bhakti Sangha, and she is going to start this session today with the beautiful topic of birth of Lord Ram in Ayodhya. But before I hand over the call to Mataji, let me read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today. Sorry. In the spiritual world also, there is competition for the best satisfaction of Krishna. This was quoted by His Divine Grace in a letter to Janardhana on January 22nd, 1967. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna Preethi Vilasini Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. So all of us are very eagerly waiting, Mataji. Hand over the call to you and please take over, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for this very wonderful opportunity on glorifying Lord Sri Ram in this particular week. So today's topic is birth of Lord Sri Ram. You're all very aware of the inauguration of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya on 22nd, which is today, even in the US. So today we'll be discussing about how Lord Ramchandra took birth in Ayodhya. So the focus of the class will be Ayodhya itself and the events that led to the birth of Lord Sri Ram. So that is what we'll discuss today, and we'll touch upon some highlights about the inauguration of the Ram Mandir in India as well. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat krupatamaham mande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Krishna Chaitanyamishwaram. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Before we get started with some Ram Katha today, I'll offer prayers to Valmiki Bhagavan and Lord Sri Ramachandra himself. Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmikir Munisimhasya Kavita Vanacharinaha Shrinvan Ramakatanatam Konayate Param Gatim Veda Vedye Pare Pumse Jate Dasharatatmaje Veda Pracheta Sadase Sakshat Ramayanatmana Anjananandanam Veeram Janaki Shokanashanam Kapishamakshahantaram Vande Lanka Bhayankaram Manojavam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayuda Mukyam Sri Ramadhutam Shirasanamami Anjaneyam Adipatanaranam Kanchanadri Kamaniya Vigraham Parijatatalu Moolavasanam Bhavayami Bhavamananandanam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakанjalam Bhashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam Shri Raghavam Dasharatatmajam Aprameyam Sitapatim Raghukulanmaya Ratnadipam Ajanubahum Maravinda Dalaya Daksham Ramam Nishachara Vinashakam Namami. Hare Krishna. Okay. So today's discussion is going to be about our own Karunamurti Sharanagat Vatsala Sri Ramachandra. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Rama Lord Krishna, he says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chidushkritam dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So the Lord promises that he appears in every yuga when there is a rise in irreligion. And to protect the pious and annihilate the miscreants and re-establish Dharma, the Supreme Lord incarnates. So Lord Ramachandra also incarnated for these purposes. And he incarnated in the Treta Yuga time. This happened several years ago. Yesterday in India and today in the US, we are also celebrating the welcoming of Lord Sri Ram back into his Janmabhoomi. He didn't have a temple there for a very long time, for a few hundreds of years. But now we are all very excited because Lord Ramachandra has obtained a beautiful temple in his own Janmabhoomi. Today, while we are speaking about Ramayana, we'll be referring to the Moola Ramayana, which is the Ramayana written by the great sage Valmiki himself. I will be taking help of the commentaries of Govindaraja from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya and Madhvacharya Sampradaya as well. And we will delve into the story of the birth of Lord Sri Ram. But before we get into that, we are going to start playing a quick video to see how this temple, what are the chief features of this temple. So I'm also thankful to the news channels because this is a clipping from YouTube from the news channel. So this is just for our information to see how glorious this mandir is.
With a length of 380 feet from east to west, width of 250 feet and a height of 161 feet, the Ayodhya Ram temple is 3-story tall. The temple is being built in traditional Nagar style. There will be a total of 392 pillars and 44 gates in the temple. The height of each floor will be 20 feet. Now in the main sanctum sanctorum, there is the idol of Ram Lalla. And on the first floor, there will be a Sri Ram Darbar. There are 5 pavilions in the temple: Nritya Mandap, Rang Mandap, Sabha Mandap, Prarthana and Kirtan Mandaps. The temple will have golden doors, and the first golden door, which is 12 feet in height and 8 feet in width, has been installed on the upper floor of the sanctum sanctorum. The mandir will have a total of 13 more golden doors. Now at the 4 corners of the rectangular compound wall, there are 4 mandirs dedicated to the sun god, goddess Bhagwati, Lord Ganesh and Lord Shiva. There is a temple of goddess Annapurna in the northern arm and a temple of Hanumanji in the southern arm. Near the mandir is a historic well, Sita Coop, which dates back to ancient era. Interestingly, no iron has been used anywhere in the temple. And the foundation of the mandir has been constructed with a 14-meter thick layer of roller compacted concrete. This gives it the appearance of artificial rock. For protection against ground moisture, a 21-foot high plinth has been constructed using granite. Adorning the pillars and walls, the temple features exquisitely carved figures of deities, gods and goddesses. Entry to the temple will be from the east side. It is accessed by ascending 32 stairs through the Singhdwar. Now there are provisions of ramps and lifts in the temple for the differently abled and elderly. The mandir is surrounded by a rectangular wall. Its total length in all 4 directions is 732 meters and a width of 14 feet. The ancient temple of Lord Shiva has been renovated on Navratna Kubetila in the southwestern part. A Jatayu statue has been installed there. Now for people visiting the Ram Mandir, a pilgrims facility center with a capacity of 25,000 people has been made. There will be lockers to keep the luggage of the pilgrims and medical facilities. It will also have a bathing area among other facilities. There will be bathrooms, toilets, wash basins and open taps. Sewer treatment plant, water treatment plant, water system for firefighting and independent power station have been constructed independently in the temple complex. This is to ensure that there is minimum dependence on external resources. The temple is being constructed completely according to Indian tradition and with indigenous technology. Special attention is being given to environment and water conservation. Of the total area of 70 acres, 70% of the area will remain green forever. The Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra has been formed to look after the construction and management of the temple.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing that video. So this is about our Rama Janmabhoomi that was just inaugurated, and with a lot of happiness, we welcome our Ram Lalla back to his own place, and we hope the worship continues without any hindrances in the future. Now we'll get into the story of the Ramayana. How did Lord Ramachandra take birth in Ayodhya? So the beginning scene mentioned in the Ramayana is the meeting between Valmiki and Narada Muni. So in the beginning of the Ramayana itself, the importance of hearing from Guru is established. Valmiki Muni did not come up with the Ramayana from his own imagination. Rather, he heard the Ramayana from his Guru Narada Muni, and then he started writing it down. So that background is given in the beginning of Sri Valmiki Ramayana. As it is mentioned in the Chandogya Upanishad, Aryavan Purusho Veda, and it is also mentioned in the Mundaka Upanishad that Vijnanartham Sagurumeva Abhigachet. Similarly, Valmiki also only learned from his Guru as is, and he repeated what was taught to him. So, keeping this background in mind, let's see how the Ramayana begins, the very first verse of the Ramayana. The very first verse of the Ramayana is Tapasvadhyaya Niratam Tapasvi Vagvidambaram Naradam Paripapracha Valmikir Munipungavam. That means this great sage Valmiki, who was immersed in tapa, tapa means austerity, and swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means in great learning, who was a great tapasvi, who was Vagvidam. He was great in speech, he was great in knowledge. When he saw his Guru Narada, he had a question for his Guru. So the entire Ramayana begins with a question that was asked by a disciple to a Guru. And this is the basis and this is the format for almost all the scriptures in our Vedic tradition. Think about the Bhagavad Gita, think about the Mahabharata, think about the Srimad Bhagavatam. Any scripture is only a book of questions and answers. Questions from a very nice, learned person and answers given by a great sage. This is how all our scriptures are laid out. So now Valmiki, he had a very, very important question. What was that? He wanted to know about something. He said, Konasmin sampratam loke gunavan kascha viryavan dharmagnyascha kritagnyascha satyavakyo dridavratah. Who in this world, who's existing now, has all the good qualities? Who is dharmagnya, who knows what dharma is? Who is gunavan, who has qualities of saushilya saulabhya, which means that is very easily attainable. He may be great, but still he's very accessible to the people. Who is very grateful, kritagnya, who is satyavakya, who speaks only the truth, who is dridavrata, who is very firm in the vows that he has taken. And like that, he goes on mentioning 16 different qualities. So after listing all the 16 different qualities, Valmiki asks his Guru Narada, is there anybody who embodies all these 16 qualities and is existing now? Don't tell me about the past. Once upon a time, somebody existed. Tell me now, in this time and age, is there somebody who has all these different 16 qualities? So when Valmiki asked this back in Treta Yuga to Narada Muni, at that time, Narada Muni was very happy. When great questions are asked, our great sages and seers, they become extremely happy in the heart because they now have an opportunity to discuss Harikatha, right? So Narada Muni was very happy and he took a moment and he relished that feeling because he was going to tell Lord Ramachandra's name. So having relished it, sometimes when we are offered a sweet, when we look at the sweet, we relish it and we start salivating, we feel like I want to enjoy the sweet. So like that, this Narada Muni, he was very, very excited. He took a moment, he relished the beautiful question that was asked by Valmiki, and he said, Ikshvaku Vamsha Prabho Ramo Nama Janai Shrutaha Nityatma Mahaviryo Dhyutiman Dhritiman Vashi. The person that you're asking about, who has all the 16 different qualities, is Rama. Ikshvaku Vamsha Prabhavo Ramo Nama Janai Shrutaha. He is known by the name Rama by all the people, and he comes in the dynasty of Ikshvaku. So he tells that it is only Lord Sri Ramachandra who has all these different qualities, all the auspicious qualities that you are mentioning. And then he teaches Valmiki the entire Ramayana in a few verses. This is called as the Sankshepta Ramayana, and it is there in the very first chapter of the Valmiki Ramayana. So Valmiki, he hears the Ramayana directly from his guru, and then he is given the instruction to elaborate on this. Narada Muni also tells Valmiki that you will be able to see everything. You will be able to see the past, you will be seeing the present, and you will be able to see the future as well of all the events that have happened in this great personality's life as he's living here on this earth. Okay, so the Valmiki Ramayana was composed by Valmiki when the events were happening. That is why it is an itihasa. Itihasa means great histories that are composed at the time of the events happening. Whereas Puranas are a collection of multiple stories that have happened in the past. And of course, there is prediction about the future and the present as well. But it is a multiple collection of stories, and the person who's documenting it or the person who's speaking need not talk about a current story. However, Itihasa means that which is currently happening. So we have two Itihasas. We have the Valmiki Ramayana and we have Vyasa's Mahabharata. When Vyasadeva was writing the Mahabharata, or compiling the Mahabharata, at that time he was present when the Pandavas, Kauravas, and Lord Sri Krishna was there. So that is the difference between Itihasas and Puranas. So Valmiki was very happy. He had learned the Sankshepta Ramayana from his guru Narada Muni. He goes to the Tamasa river to take a bath so that he can purify himself and he can begin this great work with the blessings of his guru, because it was his guru's instruction that he should write the story of Lord Ram in great detail, and everything will be revealed to him, just like how it is very easy to hold an amalaki fruit in your hand. When you have an amalaki fruit in your hand, you can easily see it. You don't have to take great effort to see the tiny fruit. Similarly, he was blessed by the guru that he will be able to see all the events as is while he is sitting. So Valmiki goes, he takes bath, and he comes down and he wants to start writing. But then there, in the shore of the river Tamasa, there was a beautiful tree, and there he saw two crowncha birds. Now these two crowncha birds were having a very, very nice time, but then suddenly a hunter came and shot one of the birds. The male bird died, and the female bird was wailing and crying because of the loss of her husband. So looking at that very, very terrible condition of the crowncha bird, the shoka, shoka means the great distress that Valmiki had, became a shloka, in great distress. So what is that shloka? He said, Ma nishada pratishtham tvam mamaha shashvati sama yat kraunchamitunadekam avadi kamamohitam. So he said, oh violent hunter, what is the reason you have killed this bird, one bird among the two? You have killed one of these birds among the two, which was a couple, and this couple was infatuated by passion. At that time, you killed these two birds. Why did you do that? Because of this, you will never get a state of peace in the many, many years to come. So he curses the hunter that he'll never be happy. He will never be peaceful. So he said, Ma nishada pratishtam tvam mamaha, pratishtatvam gamaha shashvati sama yat krauncha mitunadekam avadi kama mohitam. When they were kama mohit, at that time you went and you killed these two birds. So after he spelled this particular shloka, Valmiki started feeling very, very bad. He was thinking, what did I do? I just got the mercy of my spiritual master. I was supposed to compose a great epic about the life story of Lord Sri Ramachandra. He blessed me so nicely, but now I'm speaking a curse. So, and that it was suddenly out of his mouth. He didn't intend to curse the birds, but intend to curse the hunter. But then he ended up cursing the hunter, and our Valmiki was feeling very, very bad. So at that time, Brahma appears in the scene, and Brahma tells him, it's okay. Whatever you have spoken is actually not wrong. And Brahma blesses him to begin writing the entire Ramayana after the curse verse that he spoke. He said, this curse verse that you're thinking you spoke will be the very first verse that you will include in the poem that you're writing. Now, why is that? Valmiki was completely confused. He was thinking, how will that verse, a curse, be the beginning of a great epic that is glorifying the Lord? So he was very confused. He was thinking, what is this? At that time, Brahma, he explains to him the meaning of the same verse, that it can be understood in a different way. So, Ma Nishada can also mean the abode of Ma. Nishada means one who's close to. Who is the abode of Ma? Ma means Mahalakshmi. It is Lord Narayan or Lord Vishnu, Lord Ramachandra. He is the Lord of Mahalakshmi. So Ma Nishada means the Lord of Mahalakshmi. Now, Pratishtatvam Mamagaha means may your glory be forever and ever. Why? Because Yat Krauncha Mitunadekam Avadim Kamamohitam. Because you have been responsible for bringing the end of Ravana, who was one among the couple, Mithuna, right? Mithuna means a couple. So you brought an end to Ravana, who was one among the couple, the demoniac couple, who was very attached in a sensuous manner to Mother Sita. That is the hidden meaning of this verse. Let that be the very first verse of your epic, and you can build upon this verse. So, first the Sankshepta Ramayana was given by Narada Muni to Valmiki, and Valmiki also wrote the entire Ramayana in a very, very short way in this one verse. Though it appears to be a curse externally, it was actually the first verse of Ramayana. So now Valmiki Rishi, he starts writing. He could see what happened in Ayodhya. He could see in the forest how Lord Ram, Sita, Lakshman, they were trekking through the forest, and the entire story, one after the other, it was playing like a movie in front of his eyes. He was able to envision everything, and he started his composition. So this composition of Valmiki's Ramayana is 24,000 verses. It is written in 500 chapters. It is compiled in 6 books plus 1, 7 books in total, and which means the main epic is in 6 books, and there is a Uttara epic, Uttarakanda, that is the 7th book, the end piece, which describes the future events. Which means Valmiki, at this point in time, the Uttarakanda events had not happened yet. In the past, he had seen the birth of Lord Sri Ram. He was able to see like a movie. He was able to see the birth of Lord Ram, how Lord Ramachandra went to the forest, and then how Sita Devi was taken away by Ravana, and so on. But he did not see the future. I mean, the future events had not yet happened, but Valmiki was able to envision the future events as well, and that was compiled as the Uttarakanda. Now, everything, oftentimes there is a question that is asked, is Uttarakanda a later addition that was not written by Valmiki? The answer is no, because in the beginning of the Ramayana itself, it is very clearly mentioned that Valmiki himself actually saw the future events and he documented the Uttarakanda also. So this is how Valmiki put down the Ramayana together. Now that he had finished the Ramayana together, at that time, eventually, over a period of time in his ashram, came Sita Devi, and Lava and Kusha were born. So Valmiki, who had this entire book of different volumes, he taught the story to Lava and Kusha, and he told Lava and Kusha to go and spread or sing the story of Lord Ram in the nook and corner of this entire kingdom. So Lava and Kusha, who are actually the sons of Lord Ramachandra and Sita Devi, they take up this task of doing prachar, of spreading the story of Lord Sri Ram. And it is also mentioned that Lava and Kusha, they go to the very palace of Lord Ramachandra, and with his permission, they begin to recite the entire Ramayana in front of him. And Ramachandra, initially, he was listening to the Ramayana from the throne. He was sitting on the throne and he was very nicely enjoying the Ramayana. Slowly, Ramayana itself mentions that slowly he started moving and he went and sat among the audience, because he was thinking, this is something that we should relish with other devotees. So he goes and he sits with the other audience and he listens with the people, with the general masses. He listens to the story as spoken by Lava and Kusha. Now, one may ask, this entire story is a glorification of Lord Ram, right? Why would Lord Ram himself want to listen to his glory so much? Even mundane people like us, even we also don't like too much of our own stuti. We get embarrassed, right? We get embarrassed. We feel, oh, why are you glorifying me so much? Then what makes Ram sit there? He goes and he sits among the audience, and in rapt attention, he's listening to his own story. The reason is because it is not just Ramayanam. Valmiki says that this epic can also be called as Sitaya's Charitam Mahatar. That means this epic is actually the story of Sita Devi. And it is very, very true. More than this being a story of Lord Ramachandra, it is a story of Sita Devi. Because after Sita left, she went back to Mother Earth, the story of Ramayana literally is finished in a few verses, because Ramachandra lived for 11,000 years, but only the years when he lived with Sita is focused in the Sri Valmiki Ramayana. And it is also called as Paulatsya Vadam. Paulatsya Vadam means the descendant of Pulatsya, who was Ravana. Ravana was a descendant of the great sage Pulatsya. So Ravana is called as Paulatsya. Vadam means to destroy. So the destruction of Ravana, that is the chief focus of this entire story. So it is also called as Paulatsya Vadam. So like that, there are 3 different names for this story. And of course, Ramachandra, while he was listening to Lava and Kusha sing his beautiful story, he was put into a great turmoil. But he gave great attention to whatever he was listening, because it was the great legend of Mother Sita. This Valmiki Ramayana, as you hear it, as you hear the story of Lord Ram in this entire series, it will bestow dharma, artha, kama, and even moksha, even perfection. And how do we all hear? We hear without envy, anasuyaya, without having envy, but with shraddha and bhakti. If we hear like this, it is very pleasing to the heart, and it is an opportunity for all of us to purify and get devotion to the Supreme Lord. So this was just an introduction. So in the first chapter of Valmiki Ramayana, it is mentioned how Valmiki heard from Narada. In the second chapter, it speaks about the blessings he receives from Brahma. The third chapter speaks about his vision and how he wrote the Ramayana. The fourth chapter talks about the prachara that was done by Lava and Kusha, and how Rama himself heard it attentively. And now the epic will begin. So since we had Ram Lalla in Ayodhya, we are going to focus a lot on Ayodhya. And this section we will cover in great detail. We'll see everything about Ayodhya. This great city of Ayodhya was built once upon a time by Manu, Vaivasvata Manu, who is the father of this entire mankind. And his son Ikshvaku then took on the throne, and it was later handed down to Dasharath, who was the father of Lord Ramachandra. So here is a very beautiful verse that talks about the beauty of Ayodhya and where Ayodhya is located. Kosalo nama mudita spito janapado mahan nivishta sarayutire prabhuta dhanadhanyavan. Kosala kingdom is the capital of, the kingdom of Kosala has its capital as Ayodhya, situated on the banks of river Sarayu. Ayodhya was filled with riches, grains, many scholars, people endowed with truthfulness, and they were all without any greed. And the dimensions of this entire city is also mentioned. You can imagine that the kingdom is called as Kosala kingdom, and the capital of this entire kingdom is Ayodhya. The capital alone was 12 yojanas in length and 3 yojanas wide, and it was resplendent. It was very beautiful. 12 yojanas means 12 into 8 miles. Okay, so it comes down to average of 96 to 100, 94 to 100 miles. And the length was about 25 miles. So the city was really big, much bigger than what you can think. Today, it appears to be a very small city, this small town, this Ayodhya. But in that point in time, during that point in time, it was very big. And it was maintained very nicely. The roads were neatly kept, very nicely swept and kept. There was little water sprinkled on the mud roads. There were trees on either sides. And these trees were always full of flowers, and these flowers would shed. They would fall on the road, and it would appear that the roads itself are full of flowers as the flowers would fall on the road. I remember even 15, 20 years back, even Bangalore, which is actually a city, and it's a very busy city today. Even Bangalore was like that. We had trees on both sides, and all of them were flowering trees, and they would shed flowers. And our entire road to the school would be full of flowers. So when I was reading this, I was reminded of Bangalore 20 years ago, but now it's terrible, of course. But you can imagine in your mind how Kosala kingdom would have been. It was very neatly kept, and there would be slight drizzle all the time to keep the bhumi very cool. It was neither raining like crazy to flood the roads, nor was the city always in drought. It was something in between. So mild drizzle to keep the land cool. That was the kind of weather that Ayodhya had. And the city itself was adorned with a lot of great personalities. The Kshatriyas, they were very valorous. The Brahmanas, they were scholarly. And the Vaishyas, they were endowed with a lot of riches and wealth and very good business skills. And the Shudras were endowed with beautiful qualities to help the other Varnas. So like this, the city was full of great personalities, and the army had the enough number of horses, elephants, chariots, and so on. That's why the city was called as Ayodhya. Ayodhya means that which cannot be surpassed, unsurpassable. It was also called as Aparajita. It is also called as Saketa. So there are so many names for this beautiful land. And this beautiful land of Ayodhya was ruled by a great king. So Valmiki, when he introduces Ayodhya, first he moves the camera towards the city and he describes the beautiful city. And now it's pertinent for him to talk about the great ruler of the city. So he shifts the camera and he takes it towards the king. So he zooms into the palace and he shows us the great king who was Dasharatha. Dasharatha means one who can drive his chariot in 10 different directions. So he was a very skilled warrior, very skilled charioteer. Not only was he a skilled warrior, but he was also a greatly skilled administrator. And he ruled the kingdom like a Raja Rishi. Who is a Raja Rishi? A Raja who later becomes a Rishi is generally called as Raja Rishi. But then why is Dasharath called as a Raja Rishi? Dasharath is called as a Raja Rishi because he was a great Raja who was ruling according to the principles of Dharma, just like how a Rishi would behave. This is the commentary written by our Acharyas. So Dasharatha was ruling the kingdom like a Raja Rishi, and he was a charismatic leader. The people were constantly attracted by him, Vashikara. They were constantly attracted by Dasharatha's ruling skills. And there is a beautiful analogy given in the Valmiki Ramayana about Dasharatha. It says, Tam puri sa mahateja raja Dasharatho mahan shashasa shamita mitro nakshatrani va chandrama In which city the great, resplendent, and admirable king Dasharath resided. He ruled the world from that city, silenced enemies, just like how the moon governing the stars can exist. So you can imagine in the sky, there is the moon and there are many, many stars. So the rest of the kingdoms were looking like little stars, and only Ayodhya was shining like the moon because of the great king that Ayodhya had, which was Dasharath. And besides focusing on the palace, Valmiki also spoke about the qualities of the different people in Ayodhya, how Ayodhya was bestowed to be a city where only the best of people resided. So no one can see a lustful person, a miser, or a cruel person anywhere in Ayodhya. Ayodhya did not have a single atheist, no non-believers. All the ladies and gentlemen were very virtuous in their mind. They were self-controlled, they were self-satisfied. And in fact, not only the king, but also the people in Ayodhya were behaving like great saints. They had excellent conduct, they had beautiful character, and you cannot find a single blemish in the way they behaved. They were all learned scholars. Everybody learned Shastras from Guru. They were satisfied, they were not jealous, and they were very happy with what they had. No one was less learned and nobody was jealous. There were no disabled people. There were no problems in the city. And the people and the king, they all performed fire sacrifices in their homes and in the palace continuously to please all the demigods and the Supreme Lord. So this was the nature of the people there. When the king is a great ruler, the people are always happy. Why? When the king performs his duty nicely, he performs the necessary sacrifices. At that time, like we have read in Bhagavad Gita, when yajna, when you're performing yajna, the demigods are happy, they shower rains, they take care of the people. So like that, of course, everything is aimed at the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. But still, this is a process that is recommended. The Vedas are followed nicely. When the cows are protected, the Vedas are protected, the Brahmanas are protected, automatically the society is taken care of and everybody is happy. This all comes down to the leader. And Dasharath was one such perfect leader. So the entire city of Ayodhya was lush, green. It was very, very happy. Everybody there were happy. The people were happy. The animals were happy. Everything was nice. Dasharath himself was very, very happy. The people in his kingdom were happy. So like this, from the chapters 5 to 7, the glories of Dasharatha and the kingdom of Ayodhya is mentioned. Now, after glorifying Dasharath so much, slowly one problem is being mentioned. Though Dasharath had such great qualities, he himself was very happy. He kept the people around him happy. Still, he had one problem. What was that problem? His heart was burning with a desire. He had a very, very deep-rooted desire. He did not have a son. So he was thinking, I have such a great kingdom. I'm doing my best to take care of the praja. I have so many wives. It is mentioned in one chapter of Valmiki Ramayana that Dasharath Maharaj had 350 wives, not 60,000, it is 350. He had 350 wives. And in spite of it, he could not create one progeny. So he became very sad and his heart was burning and he was thinking, what is the cause of this problem? Because medically it appeared that all of them were fine. He was not able to find a reason. So the reason mentioned is adrishta. Adrishta means not just luck. We say adrishta. Oh, this was adrishta. That means we say luck. No. Adrishta also means something that you are not able to see. When we are not able to see through something, then what we do automatically, we go and we consult with astrologers. Oh, what could be the problem? Right? That's what we do. So similarly, Dasharath Maharaj also, he was not able to understand, he was not able to understand the problem, why he was having this issue, though everything outwardly seemed to be perfect. At that time, Dasharath Maharaj, he consults with his ministers. He understands that it could be because of my past sinful activities. Something from the past is the reason Why I'm not having a son? Because I'm not able to find out the reason by myself. So he contacts his minister, come charioteer, come advisor, who was Sumantara. In those days, the charioteer himself would become a minister. The reason is because when the king goes to his court from his palace, he would be taken by the charioteer, and it would be easy for the king to reveal all his administrative tactics and secrets to a person who's close to him. So the minister would become the charioteer so that the secrets would not be given out. So that is the reason why sometimes in many places you see that the minister itself becomes a charioteer. So Sumantara was his charioteer, come his minister, his well-wisher, and his advisor. And when Sumantara was taking him to the palace, he reveals the secret, saying that my mind is very tumultuous, without peace, because I do not have any sons. Mama lalapyamanasya suthartham nasti vai sukham. The reason I don't have any sukham, nasti vai sukham, why? Suthartham. I want a child. I want a child. For that reason, I want to perform Hayameda, an Ashwamedha sacrifice, a horse ritual, and this is my thinking. Tadartam Hayamedena Rakshamiti Mathir Mama. Dasharatha, he tells Sumantara. Why should you perform a horse sacrifice? What is the result of a horse sacrifice? The result of a Hayameda or a horse sacrifice is removal of sins. If you are not able to understand why you have a problem, and if you think it could be because of past sins, the solution a king would have is to perform a Ashwamedha Yajna. This was performed by kings, not by everybody. Anyway, Dasharath Maharaj decided in his mind that it was time for him to perform a horse sacrifice. So he requests Sumantara to guide him appropriately. Sumantara says that is an excellent idea, and the Ashwamedha Yajna should be performed, and it should be performed in the northern banks of river Sarayu. Even to this day, in Ayodhya, Rama Janmabhoomi, we have the beautiful river Sarayu that flows, right? So they decided to perform this Hayameda or Ashwamedha in this region of northern banks of Sarayu. So he gets consent from Sumantara and the remaining ministers, and he calls out to his 3 prominent wives, and he tells them that you have to now enter a vow, because before you perform a great sacrifice, you have to take a vow. At least for a few days, you have to take up great austerities. You cannot eat whatever you want. You cannot sleep wherever you want. There are so many rules and regulations. So he calls out to his wives and he tells them, we are now going to enter a vow, and so that we may soon have a son after I vanquish all my sins through the process of Ashwamedha Yajna. So the queens were very happy because they knew that through this, if they could have a child, they could have an heir to the throne. So the queens were very, very happy, and they thought it's time that they cooperated with the king so that they could soon have a child. Now, after the queens were dismissed and Dasharath was privately sitting with Sumantara, at that time, Sumantara, he tells Dasharath something very important. He tells Dasharatha, the arrival of your son was already predicted back in the Krita Yuga or the Satya Yuga. In the Satya Yuga itself, the story of the birth of your son was already predicted by Sanat Kumara. Now Dasharath was very surprised. He said, what? I'm going to have a son? And this was already predicted? Sumantara says, yes, I have heard this through proper channels, through authoritative sources. Sanat Kumar told the sages once upon a time that a great sacrifice would be performed by a sage by the name Rishyasringa, who is the son of Vibhandaka. And because of that sacrifice, the king by name Dasharatha would receive a son. So, what is the story of this Rishyasringa? That was also mentioned. So, this sage Rishyasringa had great powers because of his strict celibacy. And it was predicted that only if this Ashwamedha Yajna would be done by Rishyasringa, it would bear any effects. Now, one may ask this question, that the Kula Guru of the entire Surya Vamsha is Vasishta. Technically, Vasishta should be performing any sort of sacrifice for Dasharatha. How is it that Rishyasringa was invited? The reason is it was only Rishyasringa who was qualified to perform certain yajnas owing to his strict celibacy. To describe the story, Sanat Kumar, in the past itself, he had revealed the entire history, and he said, this Rishyasringa would be born to a great sage by the name Vibhandaka. And when Vibhandaka raises him, he would raise him in such a way that he would not know anything about the outside world. He would be confined to the precincts of the forest. He would be raised in the forest, and his father was extremely strict. The reason that Vibhandaka was so strict with his son that he would not let his son go and see anything else other than the sages in the forest is because Vibhandaka was once allured by Urvashi, and the vital fluid was actually dropped in water that was swallowed by a deer, and that deer gave birth to the son by the name Rishyasringa. So because he was allured by a woman, he did not want his son to even know what a woman is. So that kind of celibacy was practiced by Rishyasringa, and he was kept in the confinement of the forests, and he could only see sages. Now, this Rishyasringa, who was born with a horn, Shringa means horn, okay? So he was a Rishi with a Shringa, so he's called as Rishyasringa. He was the one who was chosen to perform this sacrifice. The Sanat Kumar, back in that Krita Yuga time itself, or Satya Yuga time itself, he told another story about the greatness of this Rishyasringa. He tells that in the future, first of all, this Rishyasringa will get introduced to Romapada, and then he will get introduced to Dasharath Maharaj. How is that he would first get introduced to Romapada? To answer that question, he says, in the kingdom of Romapada, that is called as Angadesh, there will be a drought at one point in time because King Romapada would slip from righteousness temporarily. He would make a small mistake and he would slip from righteousness. And because he slips from righteousness, there would be a great drought in the city called as Angadesh, or in this township called as Angadesh. And for many years, they will not have any rains. At that time, King Romapada would consult with his ministers to see how to bring back rains to his kingdom. With the help of his ministers, he will hear about this great sage by the name Rishyasringa, who is such a strict celibate that the minute his feet touches the land of Angadesh, it would start raining. So, to bring this Rishyasringa without his father's knowing, because his father was very strict, his father wouldn't let his son go into a city and meet women. So the ministers of Romapada, they suggested a plan. So they say that somehow or the other, he should be bewildered in a way that he enters the city and his feet should touch our land. That is all is needed. But it is not easy to bring him here because Vibhandaka would, even if he smells anything a little fishy, he will stop it. So now they come up with a plan to bring this great sage. And at that time, the courtesans or the dancers in the Sabha of King Romapad, they actually give him an idea. They tell the king that they can go allure this Rishyasringa and somehow or the other bring him in a boat and make sure that he enters the city of Angadesh. So the plan was devised by the courtesans, the great dancers of the Sabha, and they go in search of this sage by the name Rishyasringa. Now, what was the plan? What were the events that were performed by these courtesans? So they built a small floating hermitage. They built covered with leaves and straw that could float on the water, because on the other side of that little river was the ashram of Rishyasringa. So the courtesans had decided they would construct a floating ashram over a boat, and they would go in that boat. They would allure this Rishyasringa and take him away. So the first thing that they do is they create this boat and they go across the river and they start spying. They start seeing where exactly the ashram of this Rishyasringa is and who Rishyasringa's father is. They understand that Vibhandaka was very, very strict. So they wait for a moment when Vibhandaka is out in the forest collecting firewood. And when Rishyasringa was alone, the courtesans make their appearances in front of him so that he could see that there are some people loitering around. This is the first time Rishyasringa even sees a woman. Okay, he is not aware that there are entities called as women. So the minute he sees them, he finds them very, very attractive and he goes and starts talking to them. He goes and tells them, "Oh, you appear to be such great sages. I've never seen you. You're so resplendent. You're looking so different. You must be doing great austerities. So why don't you come and take some fruits? I want to offer you some fruits and I want to offer some puja, worship to you." So the courtesans, they say, they're very, very happy to meet him and they go to his ashram and he worships them thinking that they are sages. He offers argya, padya, machamniyam, all that. He offers all the items of worship and he offers them lots of fruits. So they sit and they talk, and this Rishyasringa was completely bewildered. He had never seen any sage who was so beautiful. So he was so attracted to them, and in turn, these courtesans, they give him sweets. This is the first time Rishyasringa had tasted a sweet. He was only used to eating fruits and tubers in the forest. But when these courtesans presented sweets to him, he was so intoxicated by that taste, and his eyes were so intoxicated by looking at their beauty. So he was thoroughly confused and he could not stop thinking about them. So after this brief meeting, the courtesans, they go back to the floating hermitage. And at this point in time, Rishyasringa started developing an intense desire to go and see them again. Again, when his father had gone inside the forest, Rishyasringa gathers the courage and he goes in search of these people, thinking again them to be sages, but he's not able to get over their beauty. So he goes in search of them, and then he goes into the ashram of these ladies, these courtesans. They invite him. So he goes and he starts talking to them. And again, these ladies, they give him lots of sweets and he eats that. And he keeps telling them, "I've never tasted anything like this. And I've never seen sages like you. You people are so nice and so much fortune you have." So he keeps talking to them, and he's somewhat bewildered, he's allured, and they just float across the river and they take him to the other end of the bank and they make him get down. So the minute his feet touches the ground of Angadesh, it begins to rain. So now Romapada's problem was solved. And this Romapad gives his adopted daughter Shanta to the sage Rishyasringa in marriage. He is welcomed by a grand party by Rompad and his ministers and his soldiers. They are taken inside the palace, and the truth is revealed to him. And the truth is eventually also revealed to Vibhandaka, who later accepts it. Initially, he's a little angry, but then later he accepts it because he understands it is for the welfare of the kingdom. And the Shanta, who's the daughter, is given in marriage. Now, who is this Shanta? This Shanta is actually the biological daughter of Dasharath himself. But now Dasharath Maharaj, he had developed a desire to have a son who would be the heir to the throne. So for that reason, Dasharath Maharaj wanted to perform the Ashwamedha Yajna, and Sumantara was telling him the story that was told by Sanat Kumara to the sages. So Sumantara now tells, this Rishyasringa, who's none other than your son-in-law, will be the one who will perform the sacrifice for you, will perform the Ashwamedha Yajna for you, because he is the only one who's qualified to perform the best Ashwamedha Yajna. So now Dasharath is very delighted. He gets consent from Vasishta, because that is the first duty he must do. Technically, it is Vasishta who should perform the Yajna, but he gets the consent from Vasishta because Vasishta also approves this, and he tells, if this great sage Rishyasringa does the Ashwamedha Yajna for you, followed by the Putra Kameshti Yajna, there is a chance for you to have a son. Okay, so collecting all these details, Dasharath Maharaj, who is very, very delighted, goes to his friend Romapada and stays with Romapada Maharaj for some time. He stays with King Romapada, and finally, before leaving, he makes a request to Romapada. He doesn't tell Romapada, oh, I'm performing an Ashwamedha Yajna, so I need Rishyasringa. He doesn't say that. He says, for some days, Shanta is my daughter. For some days, I want to honor Shanta and Rishyasringa in my palace for a few months. So can you send them with me? And Romapada agrees immediately. And Shanta and Rishyasringa, they go to Dasharath's palace. So while they are staying in Dasharath's palace, Dasharath Maharaj reveals his desire to Rishyasringa, and Rishyasringa agrees to be the sage who would perform the Ashwamedha Yajna. So during the Vasanta Ritu, which is the Chitra month, during the April month, the Ashwamedha Yajna starts. This Chaitra Mas is very important in the Ramayana. Every single major event happens only during the Chaitra Mas. It's a very key time because Lord Ramachandra was also born at that time, around this April time, Chaitra Mas. So this during the Vasanta Ritu, in the Chaitra Mas, the time and the date was chosen for the Ashwamedha Yajna to begin. Now the preparations began. Vasishta, he presided over certain ceremonies. He was not the executor of the Ashwamedha itself, but he presided over certain ceremonies. He got everybody in the kingdom ready, and Sumantara arranged for all the paraphernalia that was required for this yajna, and many, many kings from all over the world were invited. The horse was let out for 1 year. And after the completion of 1 year, Ashwamedha Yajna means what? The horse is let out, and if there is someone who challenges by capturing the horse, the king has to go and fight him, right? But in 1 year, the horse comes back. It should come back without being challenged. So in 1 year, the horse came back again in the month of Chaitra, and Dasharath, along with his wives, he enters the ritual hall where the sacrifice would be performed after 1 year. After 1 year, the sacrifice lasted for 3 days and nights. Okay, they performed Agnistoma sacrifice on the first day, Uktyam sacrifice on the second day, and Athiratam sacrifice on the third day. Besides that, several small yajnas were also performed, like the Jyotish Homam, Ayur Yajnam, Athiratram, Abhijit, Vishwajit, and Aptoryamam. Like this, many minor sacrifices were also performed in these days. Then 10 lakh cows, tons and tons of gold and silver, all kinds of donations were all given to Brahmanas. One Brahmana has even gifted a gold bangle because he asks him. This is also mentioned in the Ramayana. Like this, after all the dakshina was given, everybody was fed sumptuously. At the end of 1 year and 3 days, the sins, the past sins of Dasharath was removed. Okay, now only sins were removed. Now he needs a son. Now he becomes qualified to have sons. Now, what did he have to do to get the sons? At this time, Dasharath, he requests Rishyasringa, based on the earlier suggestion given by Sumantara, he asks Rishyasringa to perform the Putra Kameshti Yajna. And he says, he requests Rishyasringa to do the Putra Kameshti Yajna. Rishyasringa agrees to do the Putra Kameshti Yajna, and he tells, after I perform this Putra Kameshti Yajna, at the end, 4 sons will be born. He performs this Putra Kameshti Yajna for 1 full year. So just to get a son, it has already been more than 2 years, okay, just performing rituals. For 1 full year, the Putra Kameshti Yajna is performed, and Rishyasringa promises at the end of this, you will get 4 sons at a shot, okay, 4 sons. Now, towards the end of the sacrifice, all the demigods, they came in person to accept the oblations from the sacrifice, including Lord Brahma. All the demigods had come. So it was such a great sacrifice that was performed by Dasharath that even Brahma himself came in person. They were all standing in the sky, and at that time, seeing Brahma, the rest of the demigods, they began to talk to Brahma. They began to literally complain to Brahma. They told Brahma, oh Brahma, why did you give so many boons to that Ravana? That Ravana is torturing all the 3 worlds because of the boons that he has received. So Brahma, please give us some relief from the torture that Ravana is doing. So at that time, Brahma was thinking in his mind that only the Lord can help. However, this Ravana, he thought he's very intelligent, but he considers humans and Vanaras to be very low. So when he asked for boons, he asked that he may not be killed by the Nagas, the Gandharvas, the demigods, the demons, and everybody. But he left alone the humans and the Vanaras because he thought that the humans and Vanaras are nothing in front of him. He didn't even consider them to be of any value. That attitude of his itself will be the cause of his death. So thinking like that, Brahma in his heart, he was summoning the Lord. He was thinking about the Lord, thinking, actually, it is only the Supreme Lord who can help us under such circumstances. While Brahma was thinking about the Lord like that in his heart, in the sky, the Lord appeared. So this is the introduction of the Lord's appearance in the Ramayana. Etasmin antare Vishnu rupayato mahadyutihi Shankachakra Gadapani Pitavasa Jagatpati. At this time, the greatly effulgent Lord of the universe, Lord Vishnu, holding in his hands conch, discus, mace, and dressed in yellow cloth, appeared. So the Lord appears like this in his beautiful form. Now, for every word of this verse, the commentators have said what it means. When the verse says etasmin antare Vishnu, etasmin, at that very minute, etasmin antare, in between all this discussion, immediately Lord Vishnu appears. He appears when Brahma thinks about him. So when a devotee sincerely calls out to the Lord immediately appears. And who is this Lord? It is mentioned he is Vishnu. Vishnu means one who penetrates through everything, one who's all pervasive is actually called as Vishnu. So that all pervasive Lord, at that minute, he appears there. How does he appear? Upayato. How did he come there? He came there directly from the spiritual world, from Vaikuntha. How was he looking? Mahadyutihi. He was looking extremely effulgent. Why was he so effulgent? He was so effulgent because now he was thinking in his heart, now I'm going to serve my devotees. It is an opportunity for me to take an incarnation and come and interact with my devotees. Thinking like that, he was actually being very effulgent. And what was he carrying in his hands? Shankha Chakra Gada Pani. He was holding his Shankha, Chakra, Gada, everything. He was ready. If his devotees had a problem, he was ready to release his chakra. So he was all set, he didn't leave his weapons back in Vaikuntha and, come very casually. He was all set, waiting to protect his devotees. Pitavasa Jagatpatihi. He was wearing Pitavasa. Pitavasa means yellow garments. Why should he wear dark yellow, bright garments? As it is, the Lord is bluish black. So it would be a heavy contrast, right? To wear yellow garments, bright yellow garments. The reason is because the Lord was Mahadyuti, right? He was effulgent. Imagine the top part of his body is so effulgent. The bottom part of his transcendental body also had to shine. So to match the top part of his body, his dhoti was also matching. So both were shining so effulgently. And he is Jagatpati. He is actually the Lord of all the universes. This Lord, holding this Shankha Chakra Gada, he comes in the sky ready to protect his devotees. And there is more description. Vainateyam Maharuhya Bhaskarastyodayam Yata Taptahataka Keyuri Vanyamana Surottamau. Mounted on Garuda, the son of Vinita, like a brilliant sun mounted on a cloud with armlets made of molten gold, he was worshipped and glorified by all the deities, all the different demigods. So the Lord was looking extremely beautiful. And the Devatas and Lord Brahma told him that King Dasharath and his wives, who are as good as Shri, Shri, and Kirti, these are the energies of the Lord. So they are little amshas of the energies of the Lord. They are performing a great sacrifice. So, O Supreme Lord, please take birth in this human world so that the Supreme Lord, when he comes in the human form, he can deal with Ravana, because Ravana had received a boon that he did not talk about humans, which means humans can actually kill Ravana. So the demigods headed by Brahma, they request the Lord, they all appeal to Vishnu that please take birth in this human world. Become a human being, take that birth so that you can kill this Ravana forever. So now the Supreme Lord, he assures that very soon, don't worry, I will take care of your problem. And the Supreme Lord, very lovingly, he looks at Dasharatha. This is actually a very nice verse that talks about how with so much affection and love, he was looking at Dasharath thinking, this man is qualified to be my father. So we do not get the opportunity to choose many things, but the Lord is Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam. He chooses how he wants to appear, where he wants to appear, to whom he wants to appear. So when he's seeing that sacrifice below, he sees Dasharath very lovingly with his beautiful lotus-like eyes, and he blesses Dasharath, thinking, I will be born as a son. So he assures the demigods, don't worry, go back to your abodes. I will take care of all these problems and I will handle Ravana as a human being. And he goes back to Vaikuntha. Now, from the fire, as this Dasharath was performing the sacrifice, a divine being arose from the fire. He is called as the Prajapati Purusha because in one sense, Putrakamishti Yajna is a Prajapati Yajna, where Prajapatis help you get progeny, right? So a Prajapati Purusha, he appears, and how did he look? He was looking vigorous, energetic, resplendent. He was wearing red garments. His face was reddish. His voice resembled a drumbeat. His mustache and hairdo was very, very soft like a lion's mane. And he was having all auspicious features. He was looking like a mountain peak. And from in his hands, he bore a golden vessel with a silver lid having the payasam, that the ladies had to consume. And he handed it over to Dasharath Maharaj. Now, why is there a description about what the pot is made of? It is made of gold with a silver lid. The reason is because this divine payasam is coming from the fire. So it had to be at a particular temperature. So silver retains the heat while gold itself is not hot to touch, right? So this means that the payasam was at a particular temperature, perfect temperature that was given to Dasharath Maharaj. Dasharath Maharaj, he receives this divine dessert, okay, this payasam. And the Prajapati Purusha, he tells that give it to your wives, the best of your wives, your eligible wives. Now, I had mentioned that Dasharath had 350 wives, but he had to choose 3 eligible wives. Eligible ones, the first of the 3 wives. Now, there is another little information that is given. Oftentimes we say Kausalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra, but actually the order is Kausalya, Sumitra, then Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi was the 3rd one. That is the reason when he gives this, distributes this payasam, he'll distribute it in a particular order. So how did he distribute this payasam, in what order and what percentages? That is also very, very important. It is highly commented on. These verses are commented to great extent by our acharyas. So they say that he gave, I mean, not they say, Valmiki Ramayana says, and our acharyas comment on it. He gives half of the desert to Queen Kausalya. So Kausalya receives 50% of the desert because she is the Pattamahishi. She is actually the first queen. So it is valid that she gets 50% of it. Now the half of the other half, he gives Sumitra, who's the second wife. Though we say Kausalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra, Sumitra is second. He took care of Kaikeyi so well, he was so attached to Kaikeyi that it appeared like as if she was the second wife. Of course, the role of the Pattamahishi can never be removed. So nobody got confused with Kausalya, but they would get confused with Sumitra. So he gave one half of the other half to Queen Sumitra, and to Kaikeyi, he gives half of the remaining half, which means only 1/8 portion of that payasam is given to the 3rd wife to beget sons. Now, there is a balance of remaining 1/8 of that desert. Okay. So what happened?
150% went to Kausalya. 50% of 50% is 25% that went to Sumitra. Now, only 12.5, only that much goes to Kaikeyi. What about the remaining 12.5? At that time, Dasharath, he looked at his wives and he thought again and again, and he went and goes and gives it back to Sumitra. Why? Because she was the best of the queens. She had the greatest of all characters. This is further mentioned in the Ayodhya Kanda when Sumitra talks to her son Lakshmana to go to the forest. Sumitra's great qualities are highlighted and it is described why she's such a first-class woman. She was considered to be the best among the queens in terms of her character, and she is given that remaining part, which is actually the most important part of any kheer, the bottom, rich portion is actually given to her. And from that bottom rich portion is born Shatrughna. Because Shatrughna is very special. The reason is because he always remained the servant of a servant. That is the mood that we all desire to inculcate. So Lakshmana became the servant of the Lord. But then Shatrughna became the servant of Bharata. He becomes the servant of the servant. And that's the reason why that little last portion is considered very, very special. And it was given to Sumitra. So at that time, after this dessert was distributed, the demigods were also given instructions by Brahma. The demigods were told by Brahma that all of you should also descend to help Lord Ramachandra accomplish his task. From that 50% that was given to Kausalya, Lord Ramachandra would be born. From the portion, 25% given to Sumitra, Lakshmana would be born. From the 12.5%, Bharata would be born, and the remaining 12.5%, Shatrughna would be born. So these four of them, they are actually expansions of the Supreme Lord. Different acharyas have given different identities for the four. So according to the Padma Purana, they are identified as Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Shankarsana, Vasudeva. Vasudeva is, of course, Lord Ramachandra. According to some other Shastras like Vishnu Dharmottara and other places, it is also mentioned they are the Supreme Lord Vishnu, Sesha, Shankha and Chakra. According to some other places, they are mentioned as Vishnu, Sesha, Garuda, Vishwaksen. So like that, different acharyas, different shastras have revealed their identities differently, but ultimately they are all portions of the Supreme Lord, and Lord Ramachandra is the complete Supreme Lord who appears. Okay, so now talking about the demigods, Indra, he comes as Vali, an Amsha, an Amsha of Indra comes as Vali, Surya comes as Sugriva, Brihaspati comes as the Vanara Tara, the male Tara, not the female Tara. There are two Taras, okay? Among the Vanaras, there are two. The Tara, he is Brihaspati. Kubera comes as Gandhamadana. Ashwini Kumaras as Mainda Dvivida. Again, we know the story of Dvivida. Later, he's also there in Krishna Leela. And then Vishwakarma comes as Nala, who constructs the bridge. Agni, he comes as Nila, the commander-in-chief. Varuna comes as Sushena, the great doctor of the Vanaras. Brahma, he himself appears as an Amsha, as Jambavan. Jambavan, the great bear, is the son of Brahma. Vayu's son is Hanuman. And Varuna comes as Sushena. Parjanya comes as Sharaba. Like that, there is a big list of each of these demigods and what their identity were when they came as different Vanaras. What was the power of the Vanaras? They are not like the monkeys that you see today. They had extraordinary powers. They were able to attack with stones. They were able to attack with trees. Their nails and claws were like weapons. They would rip apart trees and they would move in this great speed, like the speed of wind. They were able to move. They could jump across oceans and rivers, and they would take great leaps. They could seize clouds. They could jump so high. So this entire Vanara race was infused with extraordinary powers. Especially they were infused with extraordinary powers because they could help Lord Ramachandra. I know we are over time, but I should talk about the birth of Lord Ram. So please bear with me for another 10-15 minutes and I will wind up. And sorry, I apologize. I know this content is really large. So it's hard to squeeze everything in 1 hour session. and we had so many things to do before we started off the story. So I'm extremely sorry, but please bear with me. It will not be proper justice if I don't talk about the birth itself. So just 2 more slides and we'll be done. Okay. So after 1 year, again calculate. When the Putrakamishti Yajna happened, it was in Chaitra Mas, right? Then the Payasam was also given in Chaitra Mas. After 6 seasons had passed, at the 12th month, again calculate 1 year, again Chaitra Mas comes. At that time, on the Navami Tithi, in the Chaitra month, April, May, when it was Punarvasu Nakshatra, which is also called as Aditi Nakshatra. ततश्च द्वादशे मासे चैत्रे नवमिके तिथौ नक्षत्रे अदितिदैवत्येष्वोच्च समस्तेषु पंचसु गृहेषु कर्कटे लग्ने वाक्पतौ इदुनः सह प्रोद्यमने जगन्नाथं सर्वलोक नमस्कृतं कौसल्य जनयद् रामं सर्वलक्षण संयुतं विष्णोर अर्धम महाभागम पुत्रम ऐक्षाकवर्तनम लोहिताक्षम महाबाहुम रक्तोस्तम धुंदुभि स्वा. So what does this verse say? So it says that he was born after 12 months, after Dwadashe Mase, Chaitre Navamike Tithau, during the Navami Tithi of the Chaitra Masa, when 5 of the 9 planets were in Uchasthan. That means when 5 planets were exalted. Which are the planets that were exalted? Surya, Kuja or Mars, Guru or Jupiter, Shukra or Venus, and Shani or Saturn, right? So when these 5 planets, like you can see the chart here, the birth chart of Lord Sri Ram, which is considered very auspicious. Some people, they take a printout of the chart and they hang it on their walls. It's so auspicious that you just see the birth chart of Lord Ram, it brings about great benefit. So here is the birth chart of Lord Ram with 5 planets in its exaltation. He was born. If 5 planets are in exaltation, that person becomes an emperor, Shastra says. And Lord Sri Ramachandra was an emperor, of course. So this is how the Lord's Patrika or Jatakam was. And Queen Kausalya, she gave birth to this Lord who had all the divine attributes. He had lotus-like reddish eyes. His arms were lengthy, reaching up to his knees. He had rose-like lips. His voice was a drumbeat. And he was the delight of the Ikshvaku dynasty. He was named Rama. Rama means one who gives pleasure. In the dawn of the next day, after Navami, it is Dashami. At that time, Bharat, after Punarvasu Nakshatra, it's Pushya Nakshatra. So under Pushya Nakshatra, the star of the next day, Bharata was born, and Sumitra and Lakshmana were born under Aslesha Nakshatra. Actually, they both were born on the next day. Okay, Aslesha Nakshatra on Dashami Tithi, they were all born. Navami Tithi, Lord Ramachandra was born. So Lord Ramachandra was born in Punarvasu Nakshatra, Bharata was born in Pushyami or Pushya Nakshatra, and then Aslesha Nakshatra or Ayilya Nakshatra, Lakshmana and Shatrughna were born. That's why they say Ashlesha, the Nakshatra's Lord is, it is represented by the snake. So people in the Ashlesha Nakshatra tend to get angry a lot. So Lakshmana was always the angry man. And Bharata, he had all divine qualities. Pushya Nakshatra has a lot of divine qualities. And Punarvasu Nakshatra, the great nakshatra of Lord Sri Ramachandra itself. So very, very beautiful nakshatra. So like this, the 3 of them, or the 4 of them were actually born. And 11 days after their birth, the naming ceremony is for Kshatriyas. So after 11 days of their birth, the chief priest Vasishta actually gave the names. It was Vasishta who did the Namakarana. He named the elder one as Rama, Kaikeyi's son as Bharata, and the son of Sumitra and Lakshmana as Sumitra as Lakshmana and Shatrughna. Now there is one more thing I forgot to say. Sorry. One thing I forgot to say is that if the payasa was given like in a particular order that I had mentioned, how was Bharata born before Lakshmana and Shatrughna? The reason is the Acharyas mentioned that Sumitra holds on to the payasam. She got 2 portions, but still that 25% and that 12.5. She holds on to it and she waits for Kaikeyi to take her portion and then she takes her portion. That is the reason Lakshmana and Shatrughna are born after Bharata. Bharata is older. Technically, the order should be Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna. If you go with the order in which the payasa was given, but how it was consumed decides who was born first, who was born second, third, and fourth. So it was consumed in a way that Kausalya first takes it, then Kaikeyi takes it. Sumitra holds on to the 25. After she has seen that they both have taken, because she desired that her sons should serve these 2 lords, she takes it later and they are born later. So the name Rama, Ramante Sarve Janaihi Gunaihi Asminniti Ramaha, in whom the people take delight, is called as Rama. And this name Rama is not that it was only brought up when Lord Ramachandra was born. There are some commentators who say that it's a very ancient name. It is mentioned in the Padma Purana that this name can deliver anybody from any sinful reactions and it will give pleasure to all living entities. Bharata Rajya Bharanat iti Bharata, Bibhrati iti Bharata. That means he who held the burden of the kingdom during Ram's exile. He who holds the burden is Bharata. Lakshmano Lakshmi Sampannaha. So Lakshmi Asya Rastiti, the one who's Lakshmi Kataksha, who's full of Lakshmi Sampanna. He is Lakshmana, the one who is always flourishing. And what is the wealth that he had? What Lakshmi he had? He had the wealth of service, dedication to service. So he was the great servitor of the Lord. Shatrughna, Shatrun Hanti iti Shatrughnaha. So Shatrughnaha Nitya Shatrughna, meaning one who actually kills all the enemies is Shatrughna. We have only heard about him killing Lavanasura later. So why is his name so popular as Shatrughna? Because the acharyas say that he killed the 6 vices that we have, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Not only that, he killed the greatest vice, that is having faith only in Krishna and not having faith in Guru. So this is what we all have a problem. Many of us, we have this problem. It is difficult for us to have faith in a person who's like us, who's one among us. That is the Guru. We think, okay, he's just one among us. What's so special about him? Then that is a great problem. To kill that faith in Krishna, direct faith in Krishna, and have faith in Krishna through a Guru, this Shatrughna is an example. So that's why it's called as Shatrughna, killing that vice of having only faith in Krishna without the medium of a Guru. So like this, the naming ceremony was complete by Vasishta, and Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna grew up very, very nicely. Rama was always with Lakshmana, rather Lakshmana was always with Rama, and Shatrughna always served Bharata, and they had beautiful childhood in Ayodhya. So with that, we will stop here, and sorry if I made any mistakes. Any questions, comments, realizations about Ayodhya and the birth of Lord Ramachandra?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. What a beautiful class. Oh my God, it was so captivating. I don't know why you apologized for being over time. It was amazing, so beautiful. And thank you, Mataji. So detailedly you explained everything. And the last portion where you spoke about Shatrughna was so heart-touching, Mataji. It was, yes. What I saw it as parents, we have to be so cautious and we have to be so careful and we have to develop that desire, right? That our children should become servant of servants. That's what you taught me today. So beautifully. And that bottommost part of the payasam, which had all the nectar, that was Shatrughna. And the last part, I never knew all that. He killed the vice of having faith only in Krishna and not in Guru. All that was amazing, Mataji. Beautiful, beautiful class as always. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Chinmay Mataji. Yeah, Acharyas are very beautiful.
in the way they churn out meanings. All glories to them, and thank you for your encouragement, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for giving us all the nectar, Mataji. Paneshwari Mataji, please, Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I don't even have words. Many thoughts coming through my mind. Number one, how many times have we heard the Ramayana? And how many times is it ever fresh? Number one. You gave us the whole Ramayana, all the kandas before. But so many things are being churned up now as we read, as we listen to you more and more. And as Chinmay Mataji says, please don't apologize. I don't want you to stop. I want you to go on. And I was thinking another thing is that, we understand that the kings would have the poets come and recite these, throughout their day when they're there. And I'm thinking, I can imagine how they are feeling at that time.
I think her connection was quite choppy, right? So we'll wait for her to come back. But meanwhile, we can take more questions.
Yes, Mataji. Sukakara Prabhuji.
Yeah, she's back. She's back. Yeah, she's back. Mataji, you're muted. Mataji, you're muted. Praneshwari Mataji. Mataji, you're muted. Oh, I think there's a voice lag.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Listening to the pastimes of the Lord can embolden us. I don't know how much got cut off there, but I was just thinking that the kings must have felt so empowered by listening to the pastimes of the Lord.
Yeah.
And I think as devotee, that's why we listen.
Yeah, she's here. Yeah, you have to unmute Mataji again.
Sorry, Mataji, I keep getting cut off for some reason. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. It makes us become more enlivened to practice devotional service. Basically, that's the bottom. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Praneshwari Lakshmi Mataji. That's beautiful. And more than anything, we are so delighted seeing you. It was immense pleasure. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, sir. Shri Mataji. Sukakara Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu, please go.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. There's nothing to explain. So much you are told. I think I feel that you are one of the devotees in the Ramayana time. You were there. That you are able to tell so clearly. And you are from an Iyengar family. So I'm sure you were one of the Ramas. Past time you were somewhere there. That's why you are able to tell so much about that Shatrughna killing that I never heard at all. Somebody who is loving Krishna more than Guru. So there are so many things for me to give class on this. Actually, I was very tired in the end. Actually, I slept also. I didn't hear. So I want to hear again and write the whole thing. So today, the right day you spoke when Modi did the whole thing and you completed. So wonderful, Mataji. You are the best. East or West, our Preethi Vilas Mataji is the best.
Prabhu is the best. Always.
You are the best.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah, Hari Bol Prabhu. Thank you. Parima Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
I have no words, Mataji, to say how the class was. I mean, I'm still looking for words. And whatever Sukakara Krishna Prabhu said, I second that. That's all I can say. But Mataji, there's one point I missed out on. You said that the Ramayana is also called something like what? Pulastya?
Paulatsya.
Why?
Paulatsya. Paulatsya means a descendant of Pulatsya Rishi is Paulatsya. Ravana is a descendant of Pulatsya, right? Pulatsya,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vishrava. Vishrava's son is...
Yes, it's Ravana. Okay, that's why it's called...
Sita's Charitram. The story of Mother Sita. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I missed hearing that, so I was just trying to catch up with it. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you for this wonderful class and thank you for your association. Dandavat pranams, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Thank you for your association.
Thank you, Parima Mataji. Anita Mataji, you want to go ahead?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. And Hare Krishna Preethi Vilasini Mataji. Dandavat pranams. Very, very nice Mataji. As all of them said, very nice enlightening class. I can say like relishing class. Like it was like we were in the Dham celebrating the welcoming of Lord Ram today. Thank you so much. And I just was thinking when you were saying about the last portion is very special. We used to tell to the children that you have to eat this last portion. Only then you will get all the shakti.
All the strength. You'll become like an elephant. See, we
I
got
just-
that blessing, you know. We are all becoming like elephants. At least I am becoming like an elephant.
So I was just remembering of that from my childhood. My grannies used to tell like that, and they used to force me to eat that portion, and which I used to do for my children also. So I just remember. I just wanted to share that. Thank you so much, Mataji. And you were saying that the sages they commented about Ayodhya Dham, that the surrounding villages were looking like moon, Mataji. What you were saying?
Ayodhya was like, Dasharath was like a moon, and the other kingdoms, all the kings were like stars, you know. When the moon is there, what is the greatness of little stars like that?
Okay.
Ho.
Just thinking that they are from Sun Dynasty, then the Acharyas they have commented it as moon.
That's why he's Ramachandra. He's cooling like the moon, though he's Suryavamshi, because we cannot say he was like the sun. Who's sun? We can use that analogy in different sense, of course, to bring light and all. But because of the cooling effect, because of the pleasantness that they had, oftentimes they compared to a moon.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji. Ramachandra. I just okay. I got that point. What you told, and this one. I had one more thing also to say. Okay, Mataji. I forgot what I wanted to say. Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Sitta-Preethi.
Mataji. Sita-Preethi Mataji.
Hari Bol Mataji, Dandavat pranam.
Hari
Yeah.
Bol.
It is like there are no words. Everybody has explained all the the glorification for this the Ramayana. I always feel like whenever I recommend someone to hear Ramayana, it is always like from you. You are so immersed, like as if you have just in Marathi we say like golun peile. That means you have you've drank that liquid or that rasa of Ramayana, and it is really so nice of you. We are grateful to you that you're sharing it with us in that same mood. And I don't know, it will take ages for me to still grasp it, but there are stories and stories, right? Like the very first beginning which you said, like it is like connecting it to Krishna consciousness, that how the any story which has to come from the Guru Parampara, right? Like how he got it from the Narad Muni, from his Guru. So like every story, I feel like Bhagavatam, it is there, whatever we are learning, if we relate it to our Krishna conscious principles, it makes us more easy to adapt to it.
Definitely.
And thank you, there are so many stories like from Ramayana morals which we can take, and if we apply some of them also, like it will be really wonderful. And today being the most auspicious day, the culmination, that the ending, hearing from you, it was like the cherry on the top. Like whole day we were listening to and watching all the news, and this is like the when it ends with a katha, it is like the best. Thank you, Mataji. We are really grateful from the bottom of my heart. And please keep on arranging such wonderful lectures like this. Thank you for everything, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sita-Preethi Mataji, and thank you for having this wonderful series for the children also, for leading it and making sure that there is Ram Katha in the entire week for the kids. So we are so grateful to you. Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sita-Preethi Mataji. Mataji, no more raised hands. I believe Sukakara Prabhu. Prabhuji, do you want to say anything?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, now from today your name is not Preeti Vilasini only, Preeti Vilasini Ramayani.
Very good.
Very nice, very nice name.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, what a beautiful class, completely involvement in the story. I mean, you took us to the place and you made us to be in the pastime, Mataji. Thank you so much. From the beginning, how the Valmiki started writing and with the curse he started. Everything, Mataji, so nicely you detailedly explained. I remember even your Brihad Bhagavatamrita stories and this Valmiki also, you did complete series of it. You just took out to that time. And even in the beginning, I missed some classes when you started this Ramayana. Those I was able to, relish all the things, Mataji. I hope I will get the chance one time and I will hear all those lectures that you have already given. Such a nectarian class, Mataji. Thank you so much. As Krishna Prabhu, you gave a very beautiful name to Preeti Vilasini Mataji. She is such a sweet narrator. A complete involvement, Mataji. Like, I mean, how one hour went, I couldn't understand it. So beautiful, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Very, very grateful to you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for being the support, taking care of every minute aspect of whatever is needed on the call. So even last minute, she called and she said, you don't play the video, I will do it so that you don't get confused, because you will get confused if you do too many things. So thank you, Vinita.
Yes, Mataji. Vinita Gandharvika Mataji is always there to support everybody. In fact, even when I chicken out, I go out to her and she's always there. Instant help.
Instant noodles, instant help. I was searching for this Mataji. Where is she? Where is she? Because somebody asked for Kirtan. So I was looking S. I scrolled all the way to see SUKHA. I couldn't find. And then I scroll up, I see raised hand. So she's our singer. She will sing after this. Right, Suksagri Mataji?
Well, if you say so, Preeti, then I will not refuse.
Wonderful.
But like the class was so amazing. I know I've been telling you for past few weeks, like I want to listen to Katha, and this was like so perfect. You are so detail oriented, and you described each of the personalities, and not only the personalities, but also like the setting there, and like a visual picture of the whole Ramayana. So amazing, Preeti, always to listen the Ramayana from you. Like Vinita just mentioned, I really want to go back and listen to all your series, or maybe you do another series again. That would be
I
wonderful.
have to do a series with more details. When I did the first one, it was my first read of the Ramayana. So I just stuck to the script. I didn't even do commentaries. I just went with the story. So I will definitely do something in detail with commentary. That will be more of a justification in the future.
Jai, I'll be waiting for that, Preeti. That'll be really nice. And also, whenever you have time, the Brahma Samhita also, if you can redo, like for fools like me, I forget a lot, like no memory at all. So please help me that way, it will be a big help.
Sure.
Thank you, Saksagari Mataji. Mataji, after Vasundhara Mataji, please sing the bhajan, Mataji.
Yeah, sure, Mata. Whenever it's okay, I will sing.
Thank you so much. Vasundhara Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Wow. I'd want to say anything falling short of words. Oral retreat, the finer details is what I heard from you today. I know it is just a start of the series. Of course, I wanted to request you, please complete the series. It's so nice to hear from you because I've heard Ramayana from so many speakers, no doubts about it. But such a detailed, insightful story I'm hearing from you. The finer details of how Ayodhya looks like, the comparison of the king and the king as a moon and the stars, the rest of them, the other neighborhood kingdoms, the names, what they mean, and the way the payasam was distributed, the measurement thereby, wow. No words, Mataji. I want to kind of, using my whatever the insignificant words which I'm not aware of, I want to kind of, give a different description of the way you've taken over the first of the series here. I look forward to hearing the complete series of Ramayana in your words. I feel really fortunate to be in the association of yours and look forward to your association ahead too, and look forward to the hearing the complete Ramayana series thereon. And I'm grateful to you again. Hari Bol Mataji. Dandvat Pranams. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your kind words, blessings, and your heartfelt presence here on this call, Mataji.
Please think of me, keep me in your prayers, Mataji. I mean, I know when devotees around you speak about you, it's so great to feel that I'm in your network. Please, wish me, keep me in your prayers so that I'm able to sustain and be in your network ahead. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for keeping us in your network. We are grateful to you. Thank you.
Very true, Chandra Mataji. Preethi Vilasini Mataji has time for everybody. There's never been one call which is not returned. And every call she'll be very patient. She'll speak, taking all her time, though she will have so many constraints. She is a very, very strong pillar for most of our, most of us, Mataji. Very true. Mataji, more hands are getting raised, Mataji. Do you have time, Mataji?
Yes, I have all the time.
Thank you. Manmohan Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji. This is like, it's so beautiful. And first of all, I'll thank my Shiksha Guru, Shukakara Das Prabhuji, who has joined me to this group. I feel so fortunate. I'm so blessed. Like this today is the day which I will definitely cherish for a long time to come. Whole day we were watching Modi ji and this inauguration on the TV. And like it, and in my hometown, which is a very small place in UP in India, like it is like, it's like totally everywhere there's fireworks going on everywhere. Each and every house is lit, like everywhere there is like, like this whole small place is like, and I like this all place all over India and all over the world. People are so very happy, like genuinely happy, which you can say. And on this is like everybody else talked, like this is a cherry on the top, like this is a bonus to us, like extra the things which we never even knew about, like the right from the first sloka of which you like both the meanings, both the ways, like the first, like it was a curse, and then how you told about, like it is the first sloka about like and everything, each and everything, like this was a total delight hearing that. And lots of thanks to you. And like please bless me, like the fallen souls we are, like, and this is like this so very good. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam to you. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. You have joined directly from the place where everything is happening. So thank you.
Not directly, it's pretty far from Ayodhya, but I'm in UP only. Yeah.
Oh, once upon a time, Ayodhya stretched that far, right? Still UP.
Yes, Mataji, but it was so delight. Like now, like you should, like I should be blessed if, listening to your more classes. Yeah. And thanks again to Shukara Prabhuji for letting me giving the links of this group. Like, this is so good. Like I feel everybody each and every day, like, whatever, whoever comes, like, they're so exalted and so good. Like, and today's class was very good. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Danvat pranams
Thank
to
you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. And we have our loving Father to bless all of us here. Sukha Prabhu.
Yeah. Thanks to him. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Thank you, Manmohan Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Harita Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and my humble obeisances to all the devotees on the call. Mataji, literally, I always cherish your narration, Mataji, and I thought like this narration should never stop. Like when you were telling, I was so involved. I heard your previous Ramayana narrations, and I was recollecting those points. And you were, I was thinking like Mataji will tell this point, and you were telling that point. Sometimes I was feeling okay. I remember a little bit what Mataji told. So I felt really nice, Mataji, and I always like I listen to your children's classes also, and whatever whenever you speak about Ramayana, it's so nectarian, Mataji. Just want to you just involve us in that, and you take us to that scene where that everything is happening. The actual whatever story, whatever you are narrating, that is happening in front of our eyes only. You tell like that, and you bring that emotions and that. Devotion into us, Mataji. Thanks a lot, and very grateful to you and Bhakti Sangha that this is there, and that is why we are all here. So enjoying. We are now. I'm feeling like ecstasy after listening to this. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thanks a lot.
Harita Mataji, your contribution was also very valuable. Thank you for being there with us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Harita Mataji. Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Danvat Pranam Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, HG.Preethi, Vilasini, Gopi, Koti Koti, Danvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Vijay, Gopinath Vijay. माता जी, हम में तो कोई क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं है कि हम धाम में एंटर हो पाए, पर आप जैसे लेके जाते हो, इट्स नॉट डानिमा स्टोरी माता जी. जैसे राधानाथ महाराज, जय पताका महाराज, गोपाल कृष्ण महाराज, वो जब लीला सुनाते हैं और उसमें जो पोटेंसी होती है, इतनी ही पोटेंसी आपके क्लास में है माता जी. कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम टू योर सिंसियर सेवा. और हम चाहते हैं, हम नहीं, पूरा भक्ति संघ के वैष्णव चाहते हैं कि आप वापस श्री रामायण का सब सीरीज 1 by 1 एवरी फ्राइडे ले, और ये ट्वाइस इन अ डे, और जब भी आपको टाइम मिले, बिकॉज यू आर वर्किंग, हम सबको आपका एसोसिएशन दे. मैं ही नहीं, मेरे प्रभु जी, मेरी दृष्टि शिवानी, सी इज वर्किंग इन नाइट शिफ्ट, पर वो सोते सोते भी सुनती है, उसको समझ आता है माता जी. इतनी एनर्जी मिलती है माता जी, और बता नहीं सकते कि कितनी पोटेंसी है माता जी. थैंक यू फॉर टेकिंग अस इन अ धाम. श्री रामायण की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, HG प्रीति विलासिनी रामायणी गोपी की जय.
Thank you for your blessings, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you for those beautiful.
Oh, Mataji, and yes, Prabhuji gave a very beautiful name, Mataji. Preeti Vilas. Very nice name. Mataji, there are no more hand raises. Can we ask Sagari Mataji? Prabhuji again. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You want to say something, Prabhu?
I don't feel like stopping telling because I had just been to Jagannath Puri just 2 days back. So after going there, I want to share some important thing for our Bhakti Sangha. And when I went to Jagannath Puri, I got this Pankaj Prabhu, who is my god brother, who is staying in Bhubaneswar. So he knows directly the Daityapati, who is the highest of the pujaris in Jagannath Puri. His name is Bhavani Prasad Prabhu. So this time he took me till nearest to Jagannath, and I could stand for 15 minutes and watch Jagannath. And 15 minutes Baladev Subhadra, and 5 minutes Sudarshan Chakra. And he took me to all the temples inside the Jagannath Sanctorium. That's my Lakshmi Devi Mandir, where he took me inside and got me one yantra for the business purpose. Then he gave one Lakshmi Devi's, this one, for Mataji and everything, for long life, And then he took me to Hanumanji Mandir, and he gave me this this one. If you give the classes with this, he said you'll get all the memory. Hanuman will remind you everything. Then he gave me this one. This from Jagannath temple. It was in the Jagannath shawl. That also. So next time, when any of you goes to Jagannath Puri, just tell me. I will connect you to Pankaj Prabhu. He will show you many things which we have not seen at all. And he took me to one place called Char Dham. He said, Jagannath, if you go to Jagannath, equal to Char Dham. Why? Because the first Dham is in Satyoga is Badrinarayan. In the Treta Yuga is it is Rameshwaram, Rama, and the Dwapara Yuga is Dwarka Dham, Krishna Dwarka Dham, and the Kali Yuga is Jagannath Dham, and Jagannath is living eternally, Chiranjeevi, because this Navakali Yuga is happening. He is there live. So if you go to Jagannath, equal to all three, buy one get three free. And he told, if you go to Jagannath Puri, you are finishing Vrindavan as well as Mayapur. I said, how? Vrindavan it's covering because Krishna is sitting as Dwarakadish. Dwarakadish only has come and sitting as Jagannath. And Mayapur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Shirada Bhave Rebe Goravatar. So Radharani is only pulling the Ratha to Gundicha, come to my place. Then 1 week she will be with Jagannath, and Lakshmi Devi will shout and say, what is this happening? Where is my husband? In 2 days, no food, fever, and also all these things. So if you go to Jagannath Puri, it will be equivalent to going to Vrindavan as well as Mayapur. Because both are still, Mahaprabhu also loves Jagannath Puri, and Krishna also likes Jagannath Puri. He is able to meet Radharani together. Wow. And so the one song which is including only Rama, nowhere, everywhere the song is about Krishna only, but here, Jai Jai Jagannath Sachiranandan Tribhuvane Kore Jar Charana Bandhan Nila Chale Shank Chakra Gadha Patmadhar Nadia Nagare Danda Kamandalukar Keho Bole Puro Be Ravan Bodhila Goloker Vaibhav Lila Prakash Kurila. The Ravan Bodhila is coming in this song. Shri Radha Bhave Rebe Gora Avatar Hare Krishna Nam Gaura Korilo Prochar Vasudev Ghosh Bole Kori Jodo Har Jai Gaur Shri Krishna Shri Jagannath. So Jai Gaur Shri Krishna Shri Jagannath. So Jagannath is included everywhere. Is included Jagannath. So you must go to Puri Dham. For Puri, this Rath Yatra is going to happen on 7th of July. So we are all going on 6th. So in case you are all planning 6, 7, 8, 3 days you give me, you can go and get into the Ratha also. So much you will give. So this one. And suppose if you go to Jagannath Rath Yatra, you may not be able to see so much. Any other time you choose, you will be nicely explaining everything for you, including the Konark Mandir, as well as the Lingaraj Bhagwan. The Lingaraj, I could see the Garuda is also there, as well as this bull is also there. That is, what is called, bull is called what? In Shiva's, Nandi. What do you call that bull? Nandi, as well as the Garuda is there. And also in the Linga, there's a Linga and there's also Saligram there inside. And the Konark Mandir was broken by the Mughals. So everything, you know, as if he's showing is cinema. So I want all of you to go to Puri Jagannath, and I will give you the number and everything. So it will be sure. I think Bhakti Sangha will go together. Next time we plan it.
Pray for us, Prabhuji. Pray for us.
Yeah. So we'll let us all plan once, at least 3-4 days in Jagannath Puri. And you will really love Jagannath Puri so much that every year Jagannath will pull you back. Hare Krishna. Thank you. I took so much time.
No, thank you. I was thinking after Suksagri Mataji sings, you should also sing, but you sang. So thank you so much. Even before asking, you sang. Thank you.
Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath.
Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Jai. Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Jagannath Mahaprabhu ki Jai ho.
Jai ho.
Preethi Vilasini ki Jai ho, Jai ho, Jai ho. You are the best person. So much. I'm so...
Prabhuji, you left the Ramayani name.
Ramayani, she's already Ramayani. Ramayani, Preethi Vilasini Ramayani Mataji ki Jai ho.
Thank you so much. And bless us all that someday we will all see Jagannath. We'll all get the darshan of Jagannath. Yes. Patagami bhavatu me.
Yes. Surely Mataji.
Sukhasagari Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, after listening to Sukhakar Prabhu, it gives me another bout of energy. I mean,
Yeah.
I always appreciate his energy, like it's just amazing. This is a Tulsidas bhajan, like they're not much like a Vaishnava bhajan, so to speak, on Lord Rama. So I just thought, if it's okay with you all, I can sing the Tulsidas bhajan, if it's okay.
I like your Tirupavai she sing every day so nicely. She has sung so many songs. I release the songs.
Yeah. Yeah, this is.
ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நல்லா பாடுறேன், ரொம்ப நல்லா பாடுறேன், சூப்பரா பாடுறேன்.
Thank you, Prabhuji, with your blessings. This is Sri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajumani.
Jai.
My favorite too.
This song of the day.
Sri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajumana Harana Bhava Bhaydarunam. Sri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajumana Harana Bhava Bhaydarunam. Navakanjalochana Kar Kanjarunam. Navakanjalochana Kanjamukhakar Kanjapada Kanjarunam. Shri Ram Kandarpaganita Amita Chavi Navanila Neeraja Sundar Kandarpa Aganita Amita Chavi Navanila Neeraja Sundaram Patapita Ruchi Shuchi Mami Jana Kasutavaram Patapita Ruchi Shuchi Nami Janaka Sutavaram Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajumana Harana Bhava Bhaydarunam Bhajudina Bhajudina.
Mataji, please don't play, Mataji. If you play, your voice goes. We can't hear you.
Sorry, Mata?
The instrument, Mataji, are you playing instrument?
No, Mata.
Oh, but your voice is going in between. We couldn't hear you in between.
Mataji, in Zoom it happens, Mataji. When you go for a high pitch, it happens. The voice, you cannot hear the voice.
Yeah, I'm not playing anything at all. Only singing. Yeah, because I understand.
Continue, Mataji. Continue. It was very nice. I think we can record it so that we can share it in the group.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Is it okay to sing or should you just stop, Mata?
You sing, Mataji, continue.
Continue, Mataji.
Okay. Yeah, I was not sure if you're able to listen or not. Bhajudina Raghunan Koshana Chandra Dasharatha Nandanam Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajumana Harana Bhava Bhaydarunam Siramukuta Kuntina Aja Chapandhar Sangramajita Kharadushanam Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajumana Harana Bhava Bhaydarunam Iti Vadati Tulasi मम हृदय पुरुगा मादिखलदलगञ्जनं श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भरुमन हरण भवभयदारुणं नवकञ्जलोचन कञ्जमुखकर कञ्जपदकञ्जारुणं श्रीराम 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 श्रीराम. Sorry,
Jai
Mataji.
Shri Ram. Thank you, Mataji. Koti koti
Fantastic,
Dhanavad.
Mataji.
Thank you
Fantastic,
so much,
fantastic.
Mataji.
Beautiful,
Please
Very
record
good.
and send it. Record and send it, Mataji, please.
Sure,
Very,
Prabhuji.
very
Sorry
nice,
if there
Mataji.
was
Thank you so much.
there was disturbance in the middle. Sorry about because I don't know what was happening. I was only singing. I didn't play any instruments. So.
I think, like she said, certain high pitches they don't pick up. The audio does not.
Yes, it won't come in Zoom, Mataji. It's okay, but you can send the recording, Mataji.
Yeah, sure.
I forgot to introduce Manmohan Prabhu. Manmohan Prabhu is a very big businessman. He's telling I am just staying in some Uttar Pradesh and all. He is one of the community member of my son-in-law, Siddharth. So he will help you to make crores in a month. So he's just talking like I don't know kuch re main se hu kida vada kuch nahi hai. He's a good person, nice person. So Prabhu, you have to help the community to get into in your community. No, not for making money, but money also needed in life. Thank you. I prayed for every one of you in Jagannath Puri.
Thank you.
Preethi Vilasini Mataji, Vinita Gandharvika, or whatever names and you told. Others I told, all others in Bhakti Sangha. I cannot tell.
Prabhu, thank you so much. And thank you so much, Suksagari Mataji. What a beautiful bhajan.
Oh, what a song.
And you sang with so much bhakti, Mataji. Thank you so much for singing. Yes, as everybody is asking, please send the recording when you have time, Mataji. We would love to hear again. So,
Preethi
Mataji.
Vilasini Mataji
Actually, we
started
should
the
say
class
this.
so nicely and Sukha Mataji ended the class with a nice song.
Prabhu, very true. The cherry on top of the cake, of the icing. Very true. And Mataji, everybody's sent their glorifications. Did you check the chat, Mataji? Plenty of messages. Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah. I think I almost caught up with everything. Yeah. I
Mataji.
caught up. Yeah.
Everybody, Mataji.
Yes.
Prevati Mataji, Krishna Solanki Mataji, Lalitangi Mataji. Radhika, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Parima Mataji, Manmohan, Kirtida Mataji, Anita Mataji, Uma Mataji, and finally Suksagari Mataji.
Mataji, initially we were saying so many names, Mataji. Names after names. So I was feeling like I was sitting in a history class. But, but it was nice. But it was nice. I should sit and
You
note
told
about
about each
all
and
the
every
names.
demigod, which character, each
But it
demigod you
was
connected.
very...
That was, we need the names in writing.
Yeah, but it was very nice, Mataji. I should sit and write all these things to remember of everything. And the deity which they have installed today is so sweet, like I felt like I'm seeing Krishna only in the deity.
Actually, there was a big
so
competition
nice.
for this deity.
Chubby
There was a
cheeks,
competition for
chubby
the
cheeks,
deity
dimple
making.
chin like that. It was.
From Karnataka won the game. Actually, there were so many people bidded for this. But the Karnataka, that person who made this deity, so nice, sweet smile, and the eyes are so wonderful. Two things in Rama. It was so wonderful. The Shilpi.
Yeah, I was watching this. It's Bala Rama, 5-year-old Rama.
5-year-old, yeah.
Yes, Mataji.
It reminded me of Guru Arappan, actually.
Actually, I think all of us are reminded of Krishna for some reason. Maybe because we are all Krishna devotees. So,
I don't know. We used to discuss Krishna's pastimes, Mataji, like he's
so used
playing and his face is like this. Maybe because of that. And
Yeah,
the
they did
deity is also
also.
very nice with chubby cheeks. I like the
It's like
cheeks of the deity.
Krishna in Damodar Leela.
Correct. Yeah, very
Right?
nice, chubby and cute.
Chubby cheeks and dimple chin.
Yeah, his eyes are very beautiful. The deity's eyes are so beautiful.
And they also mentioned that they did install, like, I think another Krishna Murti, something like that they were mentioning, when they were showing. I need to go back. I couldn't follow clearly. It was so late. I was half asleep, but I just wanted to see. But they did mention that they made like small Krishna Murti and then Rama Murti, something like that they were mentioning.
Mataji, actually, it was there's a Ram Lala, the original Ram Lala Murti is there at the feet. The two statues are there. There's the one which is the newly installed one, and the other is the one which was in the tent for so many years. They have just at the feet. It's a smaller one. Smaller. These two are there. Yeah.
Jai.
Jai. So Mataji, with your permission, shall we end the call?
Yes. Yeah, it's 2 hours now. We all must be afternoon gone. Okay. Once I
Ramayana never ends, Mataji. It's like that, as you said.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavi.
Namo Namah Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Shri
Jai.
Jai.
Bhakti
Ram
Sangha
Lalla
Japa
ki
Preeti
jai.
Vilas Preeti Vilasini Ramayani Mataji ki jai ho.
Ramayani Mataji ki jai.
All glories to all the assembled.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai
Nityananda,
Shri Ramayana Bhagwan.
Nityananda,
Closing the call. Hare Krishna.
Nityananda, Gauranga, Gauranga, Nityananda. जय जय श्री राधे श्याम सबको मिले वृंदावन धाम नवद्वीप माधव्याम की जय
अयोध्या धाम की जय अयोध्या धाम की
सबको मिले अयोध्या धाम बट
अयोध्या धाम की जय हो
कृष्ण प्रभु को मिले नवद्वीप धाम
ओनली वृंदावन
अयोध्या धाम की जय हो सबको मिले अयोध्या धाम टुडे
and